question also. So what is the testing process you will follow in your company? So then you have to tell all this. First, requirements gathering. So that is done by BA people, business analysts, or product owners. Then test plan will happen. After the test plan, test case designing. Test case design after a test case review will be there. One more here. Okay. So test case review will happen here. So one more, the test case review will happen here. So once a test case is done, this is the test case review. Mandatory this one. So how do you know your test case are correct? Or you are covering all the requirements? So there must be a review. Before execution, there must be a review. So even test case execution before, there is a environment preparation also will be there. So another thing, environment preparation also, one more is there. So before this, test environment preparation. This is also called test bed or test environment preparation. Before execution, if you want to execute, you need some environment, right? Where you will execute, you need environment. So the test environment. Then only your test case execution will happen on this environment. So these are the two phases, but we'll discuss here, okay? So all these are, so we'll cover here. What is testing process or software testing life cycle? So software testing life cycle or a testing process, both are same. If anybody asks you, what is the testing process you followed and what is the software testing life cycle, both are same. So then, so you can give, so from the beginning of the project till the release of the project. So what are all the testing activities carried out by the testing team is called testing process or software testing life cycle. So a test process means, so different test activities. So like, test planning, test monitoring, test control, test analysis, test case design, test implementation, test execution, test completion. These are all called testing process. So test control means, so it's a test management task. So that deals with the deploying and applying a set of corrective actions to get the test project on track. So when monitoring social deviation, so that's the test control. 1 minute. Okay, so that's the test process and test control. But what are the testing activities? So we have, so first part is you need to understand the requirements. First and foremost thing is you should get a clear idea on the, so this test requirements or project requirements, right? You should get a domain knowledge also if you are new to that project, and you should get a clear picture on the requirements by, so you can connect with a business analyst or product managers, and you can get a clarification on the requirements. They are always helpful, okay? So they have a better knowledge. Business analysts and product managers have a fair idea on the requirements and how application works, the flow, everything. They have a very good idea, entire process. So that's no, first you should get the thorough knowledge on the requirements and understanding the requirements. That's a very crucial. So then that QA manager or test lead, senior test lead or anybody, so will prepare a test plan. Test plan means how you will conduct the testing, how you will carry out the testing, when to carry out, where to carry out, who will do that testing, every detail, what type of testing you will perform, everything will be included in this test plan document. That's a test plan document means. So that will be prepared by senior people, not the junior level or anything, who has a fair idea about that testing process. They will prepare the test plan document. So the test plan is prepared by QA manager or a test lead. So somebody, senior people will prepare that. Then as a test engineer, the first and foremost responsibility is preparing the test cases based on these requirements. User stories, we call them in the Agile methodology. User stories are requirements. User story is nothing but a requirements. So those requirements you will use to prepare the test cases. So those test cases will be designed. Maybe you can take 1 or 2 days to write the test cases. Okay. So you will write the test cases. That's a main response. Any company you go, you will do first this task. This is the primary responsibility of a tester. Anywhere you go, you have to do this, designing the test cases. So we need to practice here more, writing the test cases. Okay. If you practice here only, then if you go any company, then you can write the test cases. So I'll give more examples. You can write the test cases. I'll show you how to write the test case also by showing some scenarios. And we'll work on this area. This is the primary responsibility of any tester. So without this, you are not a great tester if you don't know how to write the test case, how to design the test cases. Okay, so this point is crucial for the tester. So what is the base for writing the test case? If anybody asks you, the requirements. So that's why first point I'm telling, understanding the requirements. Understanding means you are just clear about the requirement, what you need to do, how you will test that, and you have a fair idea on that. So then only you can go and do the design of the test cases. Design of the test cases is not even writing the test cases. Writing the test cases. So we are going to write the test cases. Each requirement may contain 1 or more test cases, positive, negative test cases. Right? So that is the designing the test cases means. So test case design is done. Once a test case design is done, you have to review the test cases. You have to review the test cases. So review is done by different levels. Maybe you have written, I will review. So you have written, your manager also, you can ask to review them before going for the B and product manager review purpose. So they have to review and they have to give the honest opinion. So whether you covered all the requirements or not, they will check. If any review comments provided, you have to incorporate those changes in the test case document. So if no review comments are, that's a final draft of your test case document. Then test implementation. So test implementation, basically you will prepare the test environment. Some companies, you have to prepare the test environment. You have to prepare the test environment. And then otherwise, some companies, a development team itself, they will deploy the code in the environments. And it is available, you can start testing. So, but anything, the environment is mandatory. So if still development team is not completed, you have to wait. Your test case design is done, you can wait. You can wait and you can so do all whatever the testing, maybe test data preparation, all this you will do while preparing the test cases. Test data means the data that you want to use for testing. Like, if, for example, you have a form you want to fill, like first name, last name, so address. So somewhere you need to enter address, right? Address, phone numbers, the pin codes or zip codes. So those things, if you want to enter, you need to gather all that information before starting testing. So that data, so you need to prepare. The test data is prepared by testing team only. So that is very crucial before starting your testing. Once the environment is ready, so you will perform a smoke or build verification test that we have seen already, right, in the SDLC process. You are ensuring that so build is stable and basic functionality is working or not. You will check whether the build is testable or not. You are just verifying. That is called smoke testing. So if you find any blocker in the smoke testing, then report that defect in the defect tracking tools. These are all the defect tracking tools: ALM, Jira, Bugzilla, Issue Tracker. These are all the tools. You have access. Your company might use one of these tools. You have access and you can go to that tool, log into that tool, and you can report that defect. Then you can send an email to development team and including your manager, everybody who are the stakeholders, and then you can ask them, so please fix this issue. So because this is a blocker. If no blocker bugs are there in the build, then you can continue further detailed testing. The further detailed testing means you will execute one by one all the test cases. For example, you have 100 test cases. So in the 100 test cases, one by one you will execute. So 100 test cases, maybe per day 20 test cases. So 5 days you will execute. So and you will mark each test case pass or failed. If any test case failed, each failed test case must have one defect. And that defect you will mark in the test case document. You have a status, bug ID. You need to mention failed test case opposite. You have to write the defect number also. So when you report a defect, you will get one number. Each defect has a one number. That defect number you can mention in the test case document. So you will prepare a basically test case document, test log report. Test log report means you will write what is the application behavior, what is the status, and what is the defect ID. You have to mention everything in the test log report. So your test case document will be having a columns, actual result to status, so bug ID. These columns you will fill while testing time. So those you will fill while execution time. Then you report the defects. Those defects you will mention in a mail at the end of the day. You will send a mail to development team, managers, everybody will be included. Okay, today we have executed these many tasks. Summary you have to send at the end of the day. So today we executed 20 test cases or 25 test cases. Out of 25 test cases, 5 test cases are failed, 5 defects are reported. These are the bug numbers. Please look into them and you can send a mail at the end of the day. So that everybody is so aware of that you are in progress, you are testing. Second day, same way. So number of test cases you executed, number of test cases passed, failed, and number of defects you found, the defects you mentioned there. Second day status also you send it. So like that you will continue testing. And so whenever the defects are fixed, you will retest them. You will retest them. So retest means you are ensuring that the failed test case is currently working or not after the fix done by development team. You will follow the same steps, whatever you mentioned in the defect tracking tool. While reporting the defect, you will mention, right? So which application, which environment, which browser you tested, what are the steps you followed, everything you will mention, which test data you used, all these detailed steps you have to write in the defect report. So once you mention this, and while retesting time also use the same data, and then you retest it. If it is working, then you can say, okay, so I have tested on this environment with this test data. So now working fine. If it is not working, reopen that. And now the issue is not fixed, still issue exists. So we are reopening this and assign to same developer. So then they will look into this again and they will come back. So if it is already fixed, you can say issue is fixed, now working fine, closing the defect. So that's how you will do in the retesting. Once the retesting is done, so all the fixed bugs, you can verify them. So all the fixed bugs, you can verify, retest them, and close them according to the so how it is behaving now currently. So once all the test cases are executed, bug fixes are done, everything is done, then finally we'll perform a regression testing. Regression testing means before giving a sign off. So for the every feature you have to give a sign off, right? So that sign off before one more round of testing you have to do. So to ensure that no new bugs are introduced in unchanged areas of the application due to modifications, changes done by the development team, the existing functionality is working as per expectation. No spillover, no new bugs. So that you are going to check one more time by executing all the test cases. So why, sir, all of the test cases, if you want to execute, it will take another 5 days. No, right? First time you executed, it will take more time. But second time, it won't take that much time because you are familiar now with the application. So you will execute very fast. So that's why this regression testing purpose only will go for automation. Because you have to keep on doing this regression testing every time. That purpose only, for regression testing purpose only, will go for the automation testing. Manually, if you want to test, it will take some time, but still you need to cover. So you need to cover all the test cases, all the scenarios maybe. Not each and everything, but flow you can cover everything. So that's how regression testing means. Once so no bugs are available in your regression testing, you didn't encounter any defects, then you can say sign off. You have to send a sign off mail. So sign off mail. Then they will move on to the next environment. There you will do integration testing and system testing. So many environments you have to do a testing. So that's how it will, so testing process will continue. And the deliverables, right? Finally, the deliverables is, so you will give test case document, test plan document, test log report, or defect report. You will do all this. And everyday task in your testing is, every day you will attend the status calls. Every day a meeting will be there. And they will ask, so how many test cases you executed? How is the testing going on? Any blocker bugs are there? Any critical bugs are there? They will ask you. So you have to tell that. You have to tell. So your status, what you did. You have to explain your status. So that status and replying to the mails. That's a regular task you are going to do. Once you start your day, every day, first check your mails. If any mail, somebody asking any information, you reply to that, and watch all the time the emails, the Outlook people will use, right? You have to watch that Outlook, and then you have to reply to the mails if anybody asks some information. And then, so keep watching the mails. And then the another one is messages. Internal communication will be there. Like now people are using Slack and Teams, right? You have a channels, so they will refer you, and you will watch those messages, replying to those messages. These are all carefully how to do every day. So these are the points you need to remember. In the real life, day-to-day activities are checking the mails, watching the your internal communications, like in the Teams or Slack channels, your project related so messages. They will keep on asking you, so you need to reply to them, or you can ask somebody, you can talk to them, you can communicate through messages. So those things, always be aware of those things, how to reply, how to send emails. These are very important. And attending the meetings, before going the meetings, collect all your data, so that data you can present there. So that's very important, okay, before going for the meetings. So this is all the testing process from the beginning to till the sign off. So that's your responsibility. So whatever the project allocated for you, so you have to be thorough understanding of the functionality and new functionality requirements. You understand, design the test cases. Once you design, review the test cases by somebody. So you need to ask. So they won't come. You need to ask, review these tests. I have completed test case design. Can someone review my test cases? And they will review and give the feedback. Then, so once the environment is ready, then you start executing the test cases. While execution, if you find any bugs, report them, inform the team, and then retest them if they fixes, and then regression testing, then sign off. So at the end of the release, that's the entire process. Every time you get a new requirement, you will follow the same steps. That is called testing process. Okay. So that's it. Any questions?
No, so far so good. I just have to spend time reviewing everything and making sure I have all the steps in order.
Yeah, please review, and you explain like how you did yesterday. What is the testing process? How we are doing that? You just explain in the same way how you did yesterday. Okay.